Hey up Woodlanders, how's your week going? I'm kind of hoping really that your storm damage hasn't been too great. So welcome to woodlog number 5 already. It's good to see so many new subscribers, welcome along. And in this week's one we've got charcoal burning, we've got hazel panel making, log deliveries, I'm trying to think what else, a whole load of stuff going on this week. It's a bit chaotic really. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this week's episode. This morning's job, got to make 2 6-foot panels and a 6-foot by 3-foot panel, and also a 4-foot by 4-foot panel almost. So he's cut the timbers ready for the framework, and then I'll go and start weaving this afternoon. So I clamp that to my workbench so that underneath I've got a clear run so the blade when it comes out doesn't actually catch the bench. And then just setting up the fence on my circular saw, and I've made a little mark, you see there, look, which is sort of a default setting for halfway on these 4x2 joists that I cut in half for the frames. Now it's not foolproof because I have to double check that, but it gives me a baseline to set the fence up. And the reason I double check it all is because sometimes these 4 inches, well they're nowhere near 4 inches because that's been through a machine, but it's their nominal size. It's supposed to be 100mm, but it's actually about 96. Sometimes it could be a 94, 93, 98s I've had sometimes. So I always double check the width of these, set up the fence so that I can get a cut as near as I can down the centre line. A 6-foot by 6-foot, need 2 of them. The top rail, so if I put that top rail 183, so we're looking at 1784, 1, 2 for this mid rail, 82 looks about right. So a slight miscalculation there in that I went off memory and not off the facts. So I was thinking it was 36 inches high, and it's not, it's 32 inches high, which is why it's best to check your notes. Just a case of I run the saw along there to cut the ends off. Okay, yeah, thanks, bye. That's a bit of good news. Got the new pulley ordered for the planer and a couple of new belts. The downside is the pulley was 60 quid, but it should be coming in the next 5 days, which means by next weekend we should have the planer back up and running and be able to get the oak sorted for the windows. That's all the frames assembled. I've got just enough screws, so I'll have a bit of a clean up, put these in the trailer, and then we'll get off up the woods. You'd also not believe how cold it is this morning. It is January, my nose is running, and my hands, look at them, they've gone purple. hopefully you're not too upside down with that. So I was asked about what method I use for weaving, and it really is just a simple in-out method. There's no fancy weave to this at all. So it's round the back, in the front, round the front. This one I cut to length like that, and then just twist that one in round the back, and then the next rod, that's not long enough, is I do the opposite then. So that's on the front, that side, so the bottom one's at the back, next one's on the top, round the back, in the front. Cut this one to length, and then that one goes round the back like that. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea of the very basic weave. So at the front, top one at the back, bottom one opposite, opposite. There you go, like that. Really interesting thing that's supposed to be happening today is two ladies from Whistlewood Common, which is a local, how would I describe it? It's sort of like a social enterprise kind of arrangement where people buy shares that meant they could buy the land, do some development work, put up a roundhouse made out of straw bales, which was really interesting. We supplied the Hazel for the stakes to hold the bales together. That's part of the building process, sort of traditional straw bale method. They're coming here today to have a quick wander around the woodland to see whether they could potentially use it for forest bathing. Do a lot of networking with people that like to be able to sit in the woodland and enjoy the process of that, and the relaxation and the mindfulness of part of that. I don't know enough about it really, but hopefully they will come and fill me in a bit more detail, and if this woodland isn't suitable, then we might be able to work something out with other woodlands in the locality that could suit their needs better. I'm not sure, with the amount of chaos in the background, that this woodland really is suitable for any mindfulness, because it does my head in. Never mind making my head relax. The mess does, not the woodland itself. That's one panel all done. That's the little 4-foot one. That completes an order I did for a lady in Repton. And I've got over here, I've got this one all set up ready for weaving tomorrow, where I might just do a charcoal burn as well. We've had Helen from Whistlewood pop up to have a look at the woodland with Rob, Mike and Andren, who were looking at it for forest bathing and mindfulness, and they love the look of the woodland, so that's nice. Been nice to have a little visit. So I've had a really good morning productivity so far. The Able To team, and got the old Hookway style retort going. That's just finished gassing. So when it's finished gassing, that means all the wood gas has come out of the wood inside, which means it's fully converted over into charcoal, which is about 95-ish% carbon. And then we've just got a couple of wisps of smoke at the top, and I cap it off. So this air vent gets capped off to stop air going down, because if you get air in, then of course the charcoal, with it being hot, will reignite, and then you end up with a pile of ashes, which I have had before. This retort had got an air leak, and I come the next morning and all I had was about a bucket full of ash at the bottom. Well, it shows the charcoal works amazing, but it wasn't great for productivity. In this area, we're making a panel and also using the Dragon retort, which is a slightly different design because that has a removable chamber that I put inside, and that, I believe, we're now on 400 degrees, so that means that that's finished gassing as well. You ready? Watch that. I think we're in. This morning, if I can move slow enough, we've had a robin visitors all morning, so at the moment he's on the hazel tree just about the end of my finger. He's not coming back now. I've got the camera out. Camera shy. So that's this 6x3 panel finished. Show you the back side. That's the split side. That's off to Smisby this afternoon. Going to drop that one off along with the one at Repton, and it's quite a nice panel, isn't it? Quite a nice size. It's come out quite well. Enjoyed that. This is for a chap that I've done a lot of coppicing for, and he's got an oak gazebo that was built by students on his property, oh, maybe 10 years ago, and he's a real advocate for traditional forestry and coppice work, woodland management. Got loads of woodland planted. He's also an advocate for craft work and really passionate about that and supporting it. Over the years, I've done all sorts of things with students and getting grant funding for different projects. Very passionate about hedge laying and nature and conservation. So there's a remarkable woodland and an estate that he's got, and so this is a nice little contribution to part of that really, and supports me, supports woodland management and coppicing. So nice panel and a nice location. And so on to the next ones. So you've got 2 6-foots now to weave. This will be over a course of probably just over about 2 days, I guess. And so another episode of Woodlog is over. Thanks again for watching us. And if you're able to, why not try and get out in some woodland this week? See you on the next one.